Zacian and Kyogre, a duo that I almost won the World Championship with back in VGC 2022 back in Generation 8. The duo is quite different in Generation 9, however, so we are going to be trying out for the first time in Regulation I, Zacian and Kyogre on the channel and seeing how well it can perform. This is my recreation of Keenan Campbell's Zacian Kyogre team, where he was able to win a huge VR tournament alongside a lot of other good accomplishments. Let's break it down. First up, we have one of my favorite restricteds, Kyogre, with the splash plate to power up the water type moves of the Kyogre, with the drizzle ability that summons the rain, powering up Kyogre's water type moves even further, with the grass terra type, a defensive typing to help out against grass and electric moves that are super effective against Kyogre, as well as being able to play around Spore and Sleep Powder, with the moveset of Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Hydro Pump, and Protect. I do love Kyogre. It does do a ton of damage. I have gotten top 4 at the World Championship twice with this Pokemon, and it's pretty incredible. However, Generation 9 not been the kindest to Kyogre because of the fact that it did get rid of Scald in this generation, and Kyogre does really have to rely on its inaccurate attacks a lot more than it has in previous generations. So I actually haven't used Kyogre and Zacian too much in Regulation I because of that, and that's the main reason I haven't brought it to the World Championship, is because you do have to hit a lot of those moves. But if you are able to hit a lot of those moves, it is a very powerful Pokemon that can just OHKO or two-shot like most Pokemon in the format of how crazy powerful it is with the multipliers. The EV spread that I have on the Kyogre is 132 HP, gives it a number divisible by 16, which gives you maximum grassy terrain recovery. 236 with a modest nature gives it pretty much an extra stat in its special attack, and 140 speed does allow the Kyogre to outspeed modest max speed Raging Bolt. Is a very powerful Kyogre that's able to do a ton of damage, take a bit of attacks, and fire off some heavy damage. Next Pokemon is the Zacian Crown with the Rusted Sword and the Intrepid Sword, giving it a +1 attack boost once per game with the Fairy Terra type as its typing to get rid of its steel weaknesses, but also just power up its Fairy type moves even further with Play Rough, Iron Head, which transforms into Behemoth Blade, Swords Dance, and Protect. Across the board, Zacian, of course, was a king in Generation 8. It was by far one of the best restricteds in the game. However, it has got nerfed in Generation 9 and does have to run Play Rough because we are in a metagame with a bunch of dragon types, especially the Koraidon and the Miraidon, both Pokemon that Kyogre does not appreciate. So you have to run Play Rough on these Zacians in this case. A little bit of an inaccurate attack, and it is doing less damage, and it's not able to be as strong as it used to be. However, still really great here because of the fact that speed tier, it is one of the best in the game, a 148 base speed, which is faster than all the base 135s like the Fluttermane, the Koraidon, the Miraidon, Qianpao, and more. So it is still one of the fastest Pokemon that can outspeed and threaten them for some pretty super effective damage. EV spread here, same concept with the maximum amount of grassy terrain recovery that you can get with the Zacian. I did optimize it to have an odd HP stat, so you can have like Ruination and Super Fang being 51% after taking those attacks. The 140 in attack is just leftover. You still want to do a ton of damage. 156 speed with a Jolly Nature does allow you to outspeed those base 135s, and that was pretty much all I really wanted to accomplish with Zacian, because you don't really need to speed tie with opposing Zacian. They're not that common in this format, and the remainder going into defense. Across the board, it's a bulky Zacian. It can set up Sword Stance. It's still fast enough to outspeed pretty much everything that you want and do a good amount of damage initially, but more importantly, have enough bulk to set up a Sword Stance and then really be able to sweep teams. That is what the Zacian is supposed to accomplish on this team. Next up, we have the Booster Energy Roaring Moon with the Pearl Synthesis, which gives it a speed booster with the Terra Flying type, which gives it access to a Flying Terra type Acrobatics that just powers up that move even further, while also giving a ground immunity on this team and really just to break through the grass types that can be annoying with those Acrobatics, as well as resisting Body Press from Zamazenta and Close Combat from Urshifu and more. Knockoff to get rid of items and threaten the Calyx Shadow Rider, and Ice Rider Acrobatics, which is able to hit pretty hard after consuming that booster energy, getting rid of its item. The Tailwind, which is supposed to be very good support for the team, and Protect on the Roaring Moon. So Roaring Moon has actually taken over like the Torrent slot in a lot of cases, especially on this Kyogre Zacian team, mainly because the Calyx Shadow Rider can be pretty annoying to deal with, and of course it is a Miraidon format, so the fact that they can just Volt Switch off the Torn and just lose the Tailwind Mon immediately without having too much drawback isn't exactly great. That's why players have been gearing towards Roaring Moon, because you do have that tailwind option with this mod. It's still pretty fast to get that tailwind off before most things in the format, but also just being able to pressure Kyogre Shadow Rider, and could force them a Rhydon if they do want to take the knockout to go for like Dazzling Gleam or Draco Meteor, which puts them in a much more unfavorable position than like Volt Switch repositioning. So that is the concept for Roaring Moon on the Zacian Kyogre builds. And the EV spread here, it's pretty simple. 252 speed, Jolly Nature. I mean, max speed Roaring Moon is pretty much common to get that speed booster, and realistically I've seen bulkier Roaring Moons, but I feel like every Roaring Moon I've seen mainly has been max speed, so I'm just going with the trend. 228 HP, which gives it again a number that is a number divisible by 16 to get maximum grassy terrain recovery, but also an odd HP stat, so you are able to get 51% after Ruination or Super Fang damage onto the Roaring Moon, and then the rest just going into attack and defense. But it's mainly just because Roaring Moon is supposed to be more of a support Pokemon on this team. The knockoff and acrobatics aren't doing crazy amounts of damage, so it has a good enough attack to do chip damage, while mainly just being able to stick around on the field, take the Astral Barrages, and just fire off attacks, while mainly setting up that tailwind for the rest of the Pokemon on this team. Next Pokemon we have is the Rocky Helmet Amoonguss with the Regenerator ability, which allows it to heal itself when it switches out of battle, with the Water Terra type, which is a pretty good defensive type against really strong fire, water, and of course ice type attacks from that Glacial Lance from Kyogre Ice Rider, especially with Pollen Puff, Spore, Rage Powder Protect. Amoonguss and Kyogre has always been a really solid duo. Being able to heal the Kyogre, especially with the Pollen Puff combo, is fantastic. The Spore and the Rage Powder redirection, of course, is really nice. And yeah, like Amoonguss, normally we see Terra Fairy on Amoonguss with Kyogre, and it is able to put in a lot of work, because if they lock into Draco Meteor with a Miraidon, you can go for Terra Fairy, and if they just lock in an electric move, you can just stay in without having to go for Terra and just Rage Power the electric move, because you resist it naturally. But this one going for water to help out against the Kyogre Ice Rider and just a bunch of other Pokemon instead, which is fair because you do have a Zacian on this team. We have the EV spread here. It's a pretty standard Amoonguss that's just supposed to support the Kyogre and Zacian, allow them to set up or do heavy damage, with pretty much a max defense Amoonguss, 236 HP, 236 defense, pretty much just allows you to live the Glacial Lance from a Kyogre Ice Rider naturally, and 36 special defense as the remainder. 27 speed Ivies with a Bold Nature does make you slower than the base 50s like the Kyogre Ice Rider, the Ursalunas, and the Iron Hands, while being able to get maximum speed if you do go for the Tailwind option with Roaring Moon, so you can outspeed some niche Pokemon like some Incineroars, and you can Spore them before they can go for like a Parting Shot, for example, under that Tailwind. It has some niche rolls, but yeah, that is basically what this Amoonguss does, mainly supporting the restricted Pokemon, putting Pokemon to sleep and healing them. Next Pokemon we have is the Focus Sash Xianpao with the Sword of Ruin, which is able to lower the defense of all other Pokemon on the field besides the Xianpao, with the Stellar Terra type to power up its attacks with Icicle Crash, Sucker Punch, Sacred Sword, and Protect. I've actually never used the Xianpao version of Kyogre Zacian. I've used the Iron Hands version, which was the team that was able to do well in a few European regionals and was a main staple for the Kyogre Zacian build for a while, which was just Iron Hands over Xianpao. But Xianpao has picked up recently, mainly just being able to put on more pressure. Ice, of course, is really great coverage paired with Kyogre, because it is able to hit the dragons and the grass types that do resist the water type moves from the Kyogre. So it is able to put on more offensive pressure against the Miraidons especially. And yeah, it's able to power up the Zacian and allow it to do more damage thanks to that Sword of Ruin, and a good answer to Kyogre Shadow Rider to threaten it with the Sucker Punch, while Sacred Sword being able to hit the Zomzentas for some decent chip damage. The EV spread here is just going to go with max attack, max speed, because that is all you really need on Xianpao. Going with Jolly Nature, because if they do run a slower Miraidon, they're getting heavily punished with that Icicle Crash. Pretty much not much to say. It is a very frail Xianpao, but it's supposed to enable the Zacian to attack while being a really strong, powerful attacker next to Kyogre to cover for, again, the Dragon Grass type mons that do resist the water moves on the Kyogre side. Final Pokemon on this team is the Mystic Water Rapid Strike Urshifu with the Unseen Fist, which allows its contact moves to go to Protect with the Water Terra type to power up its water moves even further with Surging Strikes, Aqua Jet, Taunt, and Detect. It's a pretty standard Rapid Strike Urshifu, Mystic Water, Terra Water, able to really break through teams across the board. No fighting move, which is interesting, but of course you do have the Xianpao with the Sacred Sword, and Surging Strikes in Rain with Mystic Water and Terra Water really just is able to cover for, you don't need close combat. You're just clicking attacks across the board with surging strikes. So that's the main idea of this Urshifu. It's just supposed to be a great rain abuser with the surging strikes that's just able to do so much damage. Like, it is so hard to switch into Terra Water, Mystic Water, surging strikes, and rain, especially if it's next to POW. Like, oh my goodness, this mon does so much damage. The EV spread here, I don't think you need like max attack Urshifu, because you do have, again, so many multipliers with the rain, the Mystic Water, Terra Water, Sword of Ruin. So 156 with an Adamant Nature gives an extra stat point. I wanted the Urshifu here to be mainly bulky. That's like how I assumed. I like bulky Ursha on the rain teams because it's able to tank attacks, and with Tailwind support, you're able to outspeed like the field, especially like the Calc Shadow Riders, and just threaten heavy damage, right? So 44 speed, that is just supposed to outspeed some stuff under Tailwind. It's not really supposed to be that fast of an Urshifu. Again, it's supposed to tank hits. 140 in HP gives it, again, number divisible by 16, an odd HP stat as well for the Grassy Terrain recovery, plus the 51% for Super Fang or Ruination. And then mostly going to special defense, so it can actually take on the special attacks better. For instance, like that Calyx, Shadow Rider, Life Orb, Astral Barrage, which is something this Rapid Strike Urshifu is able to tank and really just fire back some damage. So that is the main reason for this Urshifu. Supposed to tank attacks, be pretty good into Ice Rider as well because of that bulk and the taunt option that is able to shut down Amoonguss Spores, the Trick Moves from Calyx, Ice Rider, more, and then just really hit hard with that Surging Strikes and Aqua Jet in the rain. So how to use the team? Across the board, it is more of a offensive rain team. You do have a few different options. The Roaring Moon can lead with anything, just go for the Tailwind immediately, and then you have a partner next to it, whether it's Urshifu, Zacian, Kyogre, or Qianpao, to do a massive amount of damage. Amoonguss can lead with anything, of course. You do have that Spore option with the Amoonguss that's able to put on pressure, the Rage Powder redirection, which is pretty nice. It's very solid with the Kyogre. Pollen Puff healing is also great next to Kyogre, as well as the Source and Zacian that could set up as well. Or you could just fire off some pretty powerful damage with your Urshifu, your Qianpao, or your Roaring Moon. Then you have Qianpao that can just lead with any of your physical attackers like the Zacian for immediate damage, or Qianpao Urshifu, of course, is like a really strong lead that we see in VGC, able to really break through teams with the Sword of Ruin, just taking advantage of it. And yeah, there's just so many different leads that can lead. Kyogre plus Urshifu against slower teams. Water Spout plus Surging Strikes is just really able to blow up teams. You could lead both restrictors with Zacian, Kyogre, just go for a fast player after threats, and a Behemoth Blade alongside the Water Spout that can put on a lot of pressure. And yeah, there's just so much that you could do with this team offensively, and it's really just about setting up those positions to get knockouts with one of the restricted Pokemon. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below, and let me know in the comments down below about Zacian, Kyogre. What do you think of the duo? Because man, I love this duo from Generation 8, but Generation 9, there's a reason I'm not bringing it to the World Championship this year, which has already happened, or started at least, when I have uploaded this video. It just has so many inaccurate moves that you have to rely on now that I just can't really use it in good faith, especially after bringing Kyogre to the 2024 World Championship and missing like the first Hydro Pump that was a game losing set after I got crit immediately to start off like 1-1. So that wasn't great for me. So yeah, like I haven't been a huge fan of the duo ever since. So let me know what your thoughts about it are in the comments down below. It's fun to use this though, because I haven't really used Zacian and Kyogre too much in the Regulation I meta, so let's see how well it can go. Alright, we have Incineroar, Calyx, Ice Rider, Miraidon, Amoonguss, Landorus, Incarnate, Urshifu. This is a pretty standard 6. What do I want to go here? It's usually Scarf, Miraidon, which is a little bit concerning. They don't have the best Kyogre matchup though, so I am going to lead Kyogre plus Amoonguss, and then I'm going to bring Urshifu and Zacian to back, because I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to play this matchup. Because if I remember right, like what was difficult about this matchup, I mean, it depends on like if they change this, the team, right? Because normally it's Scarf, Miraidon with Terra Fire, Cali Ice with Trick Room, Clear Amulet. It's usually like Assault Vest Instant, which shouldn't matter too much. Life Orb, Taunt, Slow Lando with Focus Sash, Ursh, and Amoonguss. Kyogre is just really tough for this build, especially like Kyogre Zacian. And it's mainly because the Miraidon has to lock into a move, and the move that it can lock into is just very awkward. So we see Instant Cali Ice, which realistically, this is just a Water Spout and a swap Amoonguss into Ursh game. Because that's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a water spout, swap into Ursh. Like, what are they gonna do? U-turn, get Terra Bug, go into Miraidon? I think that's super unlikely, and if they do that, I'm in the worst because they can only target one of my water types at a time while I just put on a lot of pressure. Alex gonna hard swap. Oh, is this Miraidon actually? Is this Miraidon fake out? Okay, but even then, like, I scout what you're locking into and then I play accordingly, right? So I don't even think this is that bad. I guess like taking a fake out damage is not ideal, but like it's still not that bad. Fake out. Okay. Like they can only do that really once. I'm going out into a Mungus and protecting Kyogre. I mean, this worked out because I didn't protect, because of the fact that I can actually protect this turn and swap out a Mungus accordingly. If I protected the last turn, I was actually in the danger spot. So, I mean, this still works out. Instant swaps out into Cali Ice. Oh, into their own Amoonguss, but Amoonguss is not helping you really. Okay. As we protect our Kyogre. Snarl, yeah. If they lock in the Snarl... Oh, if you locked in the Snarl, Urshi's coming in. Yeah, it should be Scarf. I mean, there's nothing wrong with me just clicking Water Spout the first time and then clicking Pollen Puff and then going to Ursh. Yeah, I would like to have Kyogre back at full. Like, I don't have to Rage Powder because they're locked in the Snarl. They could swap into, like, Cali Ice and Pollen Puff, but that's fine. Like, Amoonguss is still taking a decent chunk. Yeah, and also, I am not special attack dropped with my Kyogre if you decide to switch out, so I do a ton of damage to you. Unless the Miraidon's changed to a Assault Vest, but usually it's the Incineroar on this team, so I think I'm fine here. If they change the team, then I'm risking a lot here, but we'll see. Yeah, they just go for Snarl, which is fine. Actually, I could just use this opportunity to set up Zacian. Yeah, what am I doing not setting up Zacian? I heal my Kyogre. Okay. Sure. T-turns on electric terrain. Yeah, this is fine. I'm just gonna double swap here into Ursh and Zacian. And next turn I can Surging and I can... No, I taunt the Amoonguss and Sword Stance. I think taunt and Sword Stance is perfect. I guess the question is, are they going to double out here? But the thing is, I mean, I think I would go Cali Ice if I was them, and I would Pollen Puff. But that puts them in a worse spot. That does put them in a worse spot. So let's see what they do. Like, once I set up my Zacian, I'm in a great shape. Okay, they don't swap, so they're just locked in a Snarl, so they're really not accomplishing much here. Like, Urshifu Zacian is just going to put on so much pressure now. And I need to go for a Sword Stance and Taunt, and it's looking really bad for them. Amoonguss switches out. Incin? Or is this Cali Ice? Either one's fine. Alex. Okay. This is Snarl. I'm assuming Cali Ice is just going to protect, and then they're going to go out into Amoonguss on the Miraidon slot. So I'm going to taunt the Miraidon, and I'm going to Sword Stance. If they go instant, that's fine. Because, like, the Cali Ice, it can get one powerful attack off, but then it's not in Trick Room. It's threatened by Surging Strike's Behemoth Blade Pin, so I think they don't want to risk that. Because at this rate, I could just ignore the Miraidon. I think they kind of realize now I know that they're Scarf. I just go for Taunt into the Miraidon, because I think their best play is to get in Amoonguss and protect so they can Rage Powder next turn. Do you see Miraidon swap? Is this Instant or is this Amoonguss? Instant. Good play on their part. I mean, it's still fine. I get a Sword Stance off. Ideally, Cali protects, but if it doesn't protect, maybe it could be awkward. I still think it's okay. Oh, they double swap. Okay, this works. Yeah, this works. I think the fake out is just so obvious. I don't even need Zacian to win here. That's how this match is fine. I think I'm just gonna taunt the Amoonguss. And you know what? I'm gonna play rough to Incin. I feel like fake out and protect is just so obvious. It might fake out the Zacian and go Miraidon. I could see that as a play, I suppose. But I don't know. I just feel like it's so obvious for me to just go for protects. I think they want to try to get in Miraidon for the instant slot and protect Amoonguss. That's what I would probably do if I was them, because I think it's unlikely I go for play rough into the instant slot. Nope, they made the obvious play. Okay. I mean, this didn't work out for me, but I still think that this is acceptable regardless. I got good damage to the instant. Oh, they spore my Urshifu. Okay. I think this is acceptable. It's not ideal, but it's acceptable. I will protect on Rage Powder U-turn / parting shot. If they target my Urshifu, it's actually kind of annoying, but we'll see. I really thought they were going to be scared of the play. I really thought they were going to be scared of the double protect. And I thought they were going to try to capitalize more on trying to get Miraidon in. So, a bit over-respected there, unfortunately. They're never sporing the Ursh here. They should always Rage Powder. I guess they could Spore here. Protect makes sense. But I think it's more likely Rage Powder. We'll see. Protect the Zacian. Yeah, they Rage Powdered. What did Incin do? Who did U-turn? Oh, they flared. Okay, yeah, no, this is very bad for them. This is very bad for them. Takes out the taunt, doesn't matter. I think we just go for a water spout and Amoonguss should protect. But I think I'll just play it safe here. I'll just play it safe. Water spout plus Behemoth Blade does so much. I pretty much get a knockout unless Incin switches out and they protect. But I kind of showed how aggressive I'm willing to play against the Incin. So they do switch out the Incin. Is this Miraidon? Even if it's Miraidon, it's fine. Oh no, it's Calyrex. Okay, yeah, Calyrex doesn't want to take a spout. So this works. Amoonguss protects, but I mean, this is still a water spout and a Behemoth Blade. The next turn, they don't have a switch. So this is amazing because now I've gotten so much offensive damage into their Calyrex. I think they were hoping that I would target down the Incin slot and was able to sack the Cali Ice to bring him a Miraidon. But here's the thing. I'm just putting on so much offensive pressure right now. Yeah. Like now I just click Spout and Behemoth Blade. It could go Incin, but if Incin comes in, I'm pretty sure that Amoonguss goes down to Behemoth Blade plus Water Spout. And then they lose 2 Mons, and then it's looking really bad for them. Like, it's already looking pretty bad for them because they haven't gotten damage on my Zacian yet either, so it's worked out. I think if they U-turn to the Urshifu slot into Miraidon, that was their best play, but I wasn't sure if they were going to see it because of the fact that they went for a fake out Spore in the Ursh. Like, the Ursh slot is just interesting. I think you always just have to Spore the Zacian, but maybe they thought, like, it was going to switch or something. I don't know. Because, like, I had a lot of plays. Yeah, they just stay in. I get a Behemoth Blade. They don't even go Incin, so I know this is KOing Amoonguss with Water Spout. Like, even if they switch Incin, it was going down anyway. Now the Miraidon's going to be forced to lock into move, and if they lock into Electric Drift, I just send in my Grass types, or send in my Amoonguss, I Terra Grass, and yeah, it's like, it's over. It is over. So Cali Ice does go down. and we're gonna see the Miraidon and the Instant come in, but yeah, they just don't have any hope. It's really rough. Like, this matchup, I think, is like very favorable for Kyogre Zacian. I think it's kind of playable, but it's like really tough if you're the Miraidon player. Because they don't like here. That's the weakness of Scarf Miraidon. It doesn't put up enough damage into the Amoonguss. We just double protect here to scout for the fake out, as well as the move that they would lock into a Miraidon, but they realized the battle's over anyway. They locked in an electric move. I Terra Grass, sack Amoonguss, bring in a sack Urshifu, bring in Amoonguss. And I click Water Spout. Yeah, like, they couldn't do anything. All right, we have Tornadus with Landorus Incarnate, Kyogre, Zacian, Qianpao, and Urshifu. This is going to be a pretty scary version because they have the Zacian Torn, and Torn makes this tricky. Okay, what do I want to go against here? Yeah, Torn makes this very tricky because priority Tailwind next to Zacian, there's not really the best counterplay. Trying to think of what would be the best combo here, but it's tough. It is tough. If I can match a Tailwind, it would be nice, but I don't think it's going to help in the long term. I think I need Kyogre Amoonguss lead. I think Kyogre Amoonguss is pretty safe. It's probably planning to Terra Water the Amoonguss, and then back-wise, I'm probably bringing Roaring Moon or reversing the Tailwind and then Zacian, which is pretty good against the team overall if I can set up properly. I don't know, is it Scarf Kyogre on this team? It could be. I feel like I've seen Scarf Kyogre on these builds before, but let's find out, I suppose. They should never probably be bringing Landorus in this game, I'd imagine, but yeah, it should be like, yeah, something like Torn plus Zacian. So a Kyogre is pretty good here next to the Amoonguss, and I am just going to go for a Water Spout immediately in a Terra Water situation with my Amoonguss. And the question is, what do I want to go for? Do I want to go for a... I'm going to go for Origin Pulse turn 1, but I think I'd rather just Pollen Puff. Yeah, I'm just going to Origin Pulse and go for a Pollen Puff. I could go for Protect Spore, but there is a chance they go for Taunt if they have it. So it's kind of a call here, I suppose. I need to get rid of this Zacian ASAP. I'm going to go for Origin Pulse, and I think I'm just going to go for Pollen Puff. Let's see what they decide to do, because I do have counterplay the next turns. Like, even if they protect, that's fine, but we'll see. I do want to just get good damage into the Zacian and Torn, because they're like two of the most annoying Pokemon for like all my entire team, realistically, specifically the Zacian. They go for Tailwind, okay. What did they go for? Behemoth Blade, or did they go for Play Rough? Sub. Oh, this works out. I mean, I just get a free damage in a Torn and hopefully break the sub on the Zacian. Unfortunately, we missed one of them. Something that was the... Okay, so the Torn dodges, which is like not the worst, I suppose. That play countered Protect Spore, so I'm glad I didn't go for that, as we do get the Pollen Puff off. I'm just going to go for an Origin Pulse again, and I'm just going to attempt to Spore, I think, the Zacian. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think they're going to waste turns protecting to stall out their own Tailwind. If they go for sub, like, I'm thinking that they just don't have Taunt here, so I don't think I have to worry about the Taunt scenario. And they also saw I was going to go for Pollen Puff, so I think they might just go for Bleak Wind Play Rough now. Yeah, that's fine. Kyogre took a lot more than I was hoping for. I thought I would actually be able to tank that. I mean, I guess this is okay. It's not the worst, but that's not ideal. I am able to get a Spore into the Zacian at least. This is tricky. It's tricky, but it's playable. We are going to go out into our own Zacian. I mean, if we can get like Tailwind with our Zacian, we're in good shape, but it's tough. I might have to hope for some sleep turns. We're going to get a Swords Dance up with our Zacian. We're just going to Spore the Torn. Yeah, like if we can get a Spore in the Torn, it's super ideal. We get Swords Dance up. They protect the Torn, that's fine. As long as they're not Protect Sash. If they have Sash, I mean, it should be Sashi and Pal probably. Okay, we get Saurus Dance up with our Zacian. And the Spore attempting to Torn. I'm just going to go for a Behemoth Blade into the Torn, and I'm going to Pollen Puff my Zacian in case they do wake up. I guess I could Rage Powder, but I think Pollen Puff is the better option of the two. Because if they wake up, it's not like game losing, but if they wake up, it's not game losing. But if they don't wake up, I think I'd rather have the Zacian at full health with redirection. I'm going to say the Torn switch, which is smart because they preserve the Tailwind. What's coming in? That's Landers? They brought Landers in this? Yeah, they brought Landers. I'm shocked. Okay. I mean, this worked out. Like, yeah, it did work out. I am able to get a Behemoth Blade KO into the Landers, and I am able to get a Pollen Puff. Yeah, this is a pretty good turn, I'd say. So Landers goes down. And Pollen Puff is going to go into the Zacian. Okay. Tailwind peters out. They're about to bring Torn back in, which is pretty good. They're probably going to set up a Tailwind. Yep, Torn comes back in. There's no way you play rough the Moongus in this situation. You play rough the Zacian. I think I'm going to Spore the Torn and Protect. They go for sub. Good play on their part, but I don't expect it. They go for Protect on Torn, which is also fine. I don't mind that. Okay. They do wake up. Did they play rough or sub? Oh, they double protected. Okay, no, this works. Okay. I think they're gonna sub with Zacian. Rain stops. Oblique wind storms are inaccurate now, which actually do impact the match. I think I should live one play rough with like how much defense I have. I think we're gonna go for Behemoth Blade and we're gonna go for Spore into the Torn. Yeah, no, I think this is still the best play. They go for Tailwind. If they go for sub, this is super ideal, but I don't know. We'll see. They go for the player from the moon, but I hang on. So this is actually super ideal because I have Zacian at full HP. I'm able to get a Behemoth Blade off into the Zacian, which Zacian goes down. Excellent. Have they used Terra yet? No, they have not. So I guess Spore off into the Torn. Torn is asleep. Okay. Kyogre has to be the last mon in the back. My moon is max speed. I don't know about their Kyogre. It depends heavily on the Kyogre set as well. I think we just attempt to Spore and we protect our Zacian. Okay, they stay in. No Terra, which is surprising. Wow, they're faster than they're Torn. Does that mean it's Scarf Kyogre? It might be. Okay, Amoonguss goes down. But Amoonguss has done the job I needed to do, which was sleep the Torn. And now I'm going to bring out my Roaring Moon and click Tailwind. And if I'm faster than a Kyogre, I should just win if I hit the play rough. But it really depends on this Kyogre set. I should have one Water Spout with the Zacian since I actually have a bit of bulk. But we'll see. We're going to go for play rough. We're going to go for Tailwind. There's really nothing else I can do. I could go for a double protect if I think I can tank the... If I don't tank the Water Spout. But I think it's just always better to Tailwind here. Water Spout, I think it is Scarf. It's Mystic Water. It barely missed a knockout. A Torn stayed asleep. Do we just land the play rough? Because if we don't, it's going to come down to 3-turn sleep. Okay, we land the play rough. That guarantees the game. Ooh, okay. Knock out the Kyogre. It was ugly, but as I said before, the Torn part is very difficult for this team. The Torn part is very difficult, especially when it has Protect and yeah, just stalling, like getting rid of the Torn was just so difficult because I like this team has the best answers to Zacian either. So this lead was just super tough, but thankfully we did find our outs. It got a bit awkward. I was hoping to stall out some Tailwind turns with Torn on the field, and I was hoping to get rid of Torn before another Tailwind expired, but the Protect and the Switch were smart. Now we go for Behemoth Blade knockoff, and that will secure the game. As we get rid of a helmet. I mean, we do a ton of damage to the Torn. Yeah, it's Covert Cloak. That makes sense. But Behemoth Blade, we outspeed, and we KO the Torn. So, got a little bit lucky with sleep times, but you kind of have to get lucky sometimes with this team. Especially with those sleep rolls. But I'm kind of curious, because I guess it was Mystic Water. I'm assuming it's Grass, Terra, Kyogre with Mystic Water then, because that wasn't Scarf damage. That definitely seemed like Mystic Water. And yeah, like, thankfully the Zacian was bulky enough to survive, which was huge, and we were able to get a play rough, which was important. If it was Scarf Terra Water, I think would have been scary, because it's more powerful than Mystic Water, but thankfully it wasn't. Koraidon, Smeargle, Fluttermane, Raging Bolt, Chi-Yu, and Calyx Ice Rider. My eyes are rolling right now. Okay, this is annoying. I do like Roaring Moon. What am I leading here? Because Amoonguss is useless. I guess it's like... Man, do I have to lead Ursh? I might have to lead Ursh. It's not even fun, but I think I have to lead Ursh. I don't know what they lead. The thing is, it should be Sash Smeargle, right? So Fluttermane's booster energy? Oh, that's gonna make it awkward. I think I need Kyogre and I need Zacian. Amoonguss just doesn't do much against the Sun team, because maybe I could Terra Water, but Raging Bolt's already a problem that I already have here, and I just don't think I can afford to. So let's see what they decide to opt for. Smeargle Calyrex, okay. I mean, Urshifu's at least good here. I don't know what their plan is, but... We're going to go for a knockoff into the Smeargle, and we're going to go for Surging Strikes into Smeargle. Probably just faking out Ursh. Oh, they faked out the Moon. Okay. So they gave me the Smeargle, which I'll gladly take the Smeargle knockout. I guess I could have taunted the Cali Ice, but realistically, if we play in Trick Room, I guess the Raging Bolt's going to be a problem, right? This is probably what they're aiming for. It's probably just Raging Bolt Cali Ice. Oh no, they did Glacial. Okay, that works. Okay, no, this is fine. Because I really doubt it's like Fluttermane or Chi-Yu back now. Right on Ursh is unfortunate, but that's okay. Because they're usually Terra Fairy on Cali. And if it's Terra Fairy Cali, the Zacian's putting in a lot of work. We're going to go Zacian. As they bring out Raging Bolt. Okay. There's quite some complications here. I don't know. There's Thunderclap Mind Games. There's a bunch that could go on. I think I'm just gonna play rough the Raging Bolt and taunt the Cali, as they might Thunderclap here my Ursh, which would be fine. We're gonna see the Raging Bolt Terra into Electric. I debated about going for the Surging Strikes and the play rough into that slot. The Cali might be protecting. Now they just Thunderclap my Zacian, which is interesting. Okay. Takes a Life Orb chip. Here comes the play rough. Really heavy damage. Yep, into the Bolt. I get the taunt off so they can't Trick Room. Okay, it's an interesting mind game the next turns. Keep spamming Glacial. A weird mind game. At least the Cali can't protect, but even though it can't protect, it's just an annoying mind game with the Ursh. Do I KO the Bolt or not? If I just went for Surging into Bolt, I think this game was secured, but oh man, now it's just a mind game between like Aqua Jet plus Surging. I think I'm going to Surging the Bolt and protect, because I think they're just going to Glacial and Thunderclap the Zacian. Nice. Okay, that's massive. I do get the Raging Bolt for a lot of damage. Excellent. And they can't Terra anymore, so I'm pretty sure what I can do is I can go Kyogre, I can click Water Spout plus Behemoth Blade, and I'm fine. I need this to KO. I need them to actually KO me though. Like I need them to KO here with Glacial, which it should based on the previous roll, but some aggressive plays, but they worked out here. Okay, the crit actually kind of helping me later on in this game because now I don't have to go crazy. Granted, I probably would have still went for like Aqua Jet Behemoth Blade, but now we just go out into Kyogre, we click Water Spout plus Behemoth Blade, and we're fine. Unless they have some back I'm not expecting, but yeah, it's Koraidon always. And I will be fast in Koraidon and get a end with Zacian and get a Behemoth Blade off and then Water Spout. So we're going to go for Behemoth Blade and we're going to go for Water Spout. The reason we're going to go for Behemoth Blade is because we need to make sure the Cali Ice doesn't get an attack off because it currently is +2. That Pokemon's a threat. If they decide, hey, I'm going to Collision Course, I'm pretty sure Water Spout into Origin Pulse will take the knockout into Koraidon, which is fine. I do KO the Cali Ice with just one Behemoth Blade. Also, it was like a mind game between like the Koraidon attacking or protecting, so I didn't want to play into that. You go for Collision Course, understandable. I think Kyogre wins this endgame, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Water Spout single turret into an Origin Pulse single turret. That's a lot of damage. I could believe Koraidon takes it if... I mean, I don't think it does. If it was spread. Yeah, like I did way too much. Granted, we have to hit the Origin Pulse here because I am not risking Spout if they Collision Course like crit, for example. Because I think I live Collision Course crit, but I would not get the... yeah, like I do. We do land the Origin Pulse. Okay. We played aggressive and it worked out. I had to make a few tough calls. I got like one right and then one wrong, but it evened out and we were able to take the win. Whew, okay. Yeah, because Behemoth Blade, Water Spout, KO. I mean, if the Cali survived, I think it's still KO'd, which was impressive because it was Water Spout and a single target Origin Pulse. But yeah, definitely potentially scary, but it just worked out. Aggressive plays do work out. All right, we have Miraidon, Whimsicott, Calyx, Ice Rider, Volcarona, Urshifu, and Incineroar. So... there's so many different versions of this team. Is this the Endeavor Whimsicott? I wouldn't be surprised to see if this is the Endeavor Whimsicott. Hey, I don't want to approach this because Volk is a little bit annoying. I think the combo is just Kyogre Amoonguss. I think Kyogre Amoonguss is pretty good here. Yeah, Kyogre Amoonguss, have Zacian in the back, and... is it Ursh? I think it's Ursh. Moon is nice, but I don't think it's necessary. I do like Ursh more. Because I don't really like Chien-Pao in this matchup. It only affects the Miraidon and the Whimsicott, but those are usually lead Pokemon, and I do have the Zacian that's pretty good against them. And I don't really like my Roaring Moon because I don't think I'll need to Talon against them, especially if they go for like a Trick Room route. But let's see. We're going to see Amoonguss and Kyogre versus the Volcarona and the Miraidon. So a pretty standard classic lead here. I think it's Rage Powder Volk usually on these. I don't think it's usually Quiver Dance. I like the idea of just going for Rage Powder Water Spout because they don't run Discharge on these Miraidons typically, so I'd rather just fire off the big powerful Water Spout immediately. We're going to see Terastization, which I guess is Volcarona, which is fine. Yeah, Volcarona Terras into water. Grass, okay, I mean, sure. Is it Giga Drain? I mean, if it's Giga Drain, that's fine. We get a Rage Powder off. Oh, it's Snarl. Oh, and they crit my Kyogre. Just to add insult to injury and make my Water Spout do less. Eh, it's okay. Okay, it's not okay. They have Quiver. Granted, I think this is still a playable spot, but yeah, this got ugly fast. This got ugly real fast. I think I gotta go Zacian. I think I have to protect my Kyogre. I need to get rid of Volcarona as soon as possible, and that's not the mon I would like to target, but I think I have to target. Okay, let's see what they go for this time. Is it Snarl again, or are they going to play aggressive and Electric this time? Draco Meteor is also fine. They do Giga Drain, so it's Giga Drain and not Bug Buzz. That's actually good to know. Draco? Super ideal turn. Okay, nice. Our game, or our turn 2 is really good. Okay. The Volcarona is also fast because it outspent their Miraidon, but we have no idea what the speed tiers are, so we can't confirm anything guaranteed. I think here I'd probably just go for my Terra Fairy, and I'd go for Play Rough into the Miraidon. And I think we swap out our Kyogre and go out into Amoonguss. Yeah. I think that's fine. Miraidon I'm going to swap out, but that's okay. This Volk should be worried about getting hit here. We're going to see Whimsicott come in. All right. Kyogre going to retreat so I can keep it around later. I got to watch out for the Miraidon though, because Miraidon's still scary. But I guess if it's a Assault Vest because it's Snarl, it's a lot easier to handle. And because we Terrasilize our Zacian, we're not taking that much damage from like a fire move. So this Zacian's looking super threatening to them, but I gotta watch out for Kali Ice being brought out, I suppose. Oh, I'm faster than their Volcarona, so it's not fast Zacian. Okay. You bring the Whimsicott low. Is this Giga Drain? No, they should Fiery Dance here. Or no, they Giga Drain my Kyogre? Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna Play Rough the Volcarona and Pollen Puff the Whimsicott. Yeah. If they protect Volcarona, so be it. I mean, there's not much I can do there, but I would like to get her Whimsicott before I can go for like Endeavor. And if it Endeavors this turn, that's fine because my Zacian's faster than all their Pokemon anyway, so that's not a big deal. All right, they stay in. I am able to get the Play Rough into the Volcarona and take the knockout. That's Helmet. Okay. No Flame Body though. Okay, if Volcarona goes down, beautiful. Did I have Pollen Puffed my own slot? Because it might be Scarf Miraidon. It did Endeavor. Okay. As we do Pollen Puff. Okay. Well, here's the thing. If they lock in a Snarl, Ursh is dominating the board. Right? It's the last time of Electric Terrain too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the last time of Electric Terrain. We're just gonna go for a Play Rough here into the Miraidon. We're gonna protect our Amoonguss. If the Miraidon has Protect, I'm going to have a lot of trouble, but we'll see. I don't think you should Protect and Snarl though. That's like so uncommon. We'll protect our Amoonguss. What did they go for? Probably Snarl. Okay, so it's not Scarf Miraidon. I didn't think it was. I do get the KO onto their Miraidon. And then next turn, I get to go Kyogre, or I get to go Ursh, and I get to click Water Spout and Spore. They Glacial, they take the knockout on Zacian, but that's completely fine because now I get to just go for like really powerful attacks. I wish I could see how many turns of Weather are left because that would actually be nice. I think it's Urspring in here. Yeah, I think it's Urspring in here. Is Electric Train... Well, no, Electric Train's going to disappear at the same time as Rain, right? Yeah, Rain stops, so Kyogre's in. Okay. My play is just to always go Kyogre, throw off a Water Spout, and Spore the Calyrex. They already Terrasalized the Volcarona. All I have to do is just power through this Calyrex Ice Rider, and it's set. Even if they crit me, I think we should still easily win. Water Spout single target, gonna do a ton of damage to the Calyrex. Yeah, like it's not leaving Surging Strikes, that's for sure. They go for Glacial, take the knock on Amoonguss. They need a crit into Kyogre, but even if they crit my Kyogre, which I don't even think it knocked out, it looked really close. I don't think it did though. Ursh is still cleaning up with Surging Strikes, so nice. Zacian just putting on a good amount of offensive pressure, and even though they got the Endeavor off, since they weren't Scarf and never got Tailwind up, and because I Pollen Puff KO'd their Whimsicott, yeah, there wasn't really much that they could do. If they got Tailwind up, I guess it could have been scary, but they did not decide to get Tailwind up, so we will go for Water Spout, and we will go for Surging Strikes, and that was security win. Yep, battle gonna be forfeit. Beautiful. All right, just was able to play super aggressive into that, and it just heavily worked out once we started actually rolling the board with Zacian coming in, especially on that turn. The turn 2 was perfect. Turn 1 was bad into turn 2, but realistically, I needed to turn 1 damage as well and to force them to think that they could Draco the Amoonguss, and it just worked out perfectly. All right, we have Calyx, Shadow Rider, Smeargle, Zamazenta, the Whimsicott, Rillaboom, and Cornerstone Ogerpon. I do not like dealing with these teams. It'd be okay. I mean, they should lead Zamazenta. Kind of concerning. Definitely bring Roaring Moon, Kyogre, Zacian for sure. I just don't know if the last mon's Amoonguss because they have triple grass, which makes it weird here. Or if I just bring Ursh. You might be thinking, why am I bringing Ursh against triple grass? It's still probably like one of my best mons realistically for it. I could go POW, but I kind of want pressure to break the Smeargle in one hit. I think it's okay with going with Zacian Kyogre back with the Roaring Moon. I don't know. I think it's always... I don't know if it's okay to lead Roaring Moon in this position because I wasn't sure, but we'll see. Miracle Calyx. Okay, yeah, this works. This works. All right, I'm just gonna Tailwind with my Moon, and I'm just gonna go for Surging Strikes into the Cali. They're gonna fake out one slot, but faking out one slot is fine. I'm just gonna Tailwind and Surging. Because that means Urshifu won't go down to any one hit unless it's choice specs and they go for like Terra Ghost Astral, which I'd be very shocked that they did with this team because I'm not sure if that'd be very likely, but we'll see. They go for Terastallization immediately, which is cool. Gonna be the Cali into Ghost. Dark, okay. So now they're weak to my Zacian, although my Zacian was probably one-shotting them anyway, but they can't Terra with the rest of the team. All right. My Zacian's going to have to probably hard carry this. They're probably going to go for Fake Out. Are they going to plot, though? Because I'm kind of curious if they plot. No, they do Fake Out the Ursh. Gets a crit, okay. Tailwind. And they go for Nasty Plot. Okay, that's fine. That is really frustrating. Oh, that is so frustrating. Okay. Now I have to see. I really hope they don't Spore my Roaring Moon, but I think they follow me. Yeah, they always follow me here. That's actually perfect. Okay, this works. This works. As I go for the Acro, and they go for Astral Barrage again, but the Astral Barrage won't knock out Moon, and then I get a knockoff Surging Pin the next turn. Yeah, Moon tanks it pretty well. It's Life Orb Calyx. It makes it easier. Okay, they didn't get double speed. If they got double speed, I would have flipped. That was like, I was worried that they would Spore with the Smeargle into the Roaring Moon, reading the attack from Urshifu, but now I should have this. I go for knockoff in the Smeargle, and I go for Surging Strikes in the Calyx, and I'm fine. Oh, okay. Good start. They retreat to Calyx because they need the Calyx. Rillaboom? Whimsicott, that's fine. Okay. As they go for Follow Me, so I will take the knockout into their Smeargle. They were worried if I Acrobatics doubled up, but I'm not risking that. Goodbye, Smeargle. Just don't be Helmet, Whimsicott. That's like the only thing I just need to make sure. Actually, no, I'm fine even if they do that. I go for Surging into the Whims. I will do a KO with the Surging. Then next turn, if they go Cali, don't I just knock off the Cali to get rid of the Life Orb so crit doesn't knock on my Urshifu and Surging? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just do that. Oh, Ogerpon. Okay. that makes sense. You're gonna follow me though? Like, if you follow me, I still think it's... I still have a Calyrex. I gotta watch out about this situation. Actually, I think I still go for Acro here and I Surging. I think that's okay. No, because they Power Whip, right? I think I Detect here. And I take the knockout Whims. You go for the Tailwind. This should be like Power Whip. Acrobatics, Chaos, and Whimsicott. Super ideal. Okay, so Astral Barrage doesn't knock on my Roaring Moon, which is perfect. I'd be cudgeled. They not... Oh, are they... Oh, don't tell me they're the Encore Ogerpon. If they're the Encore Ogerpon, I'm actually probably screwed. Actually, no, because here's the thing. It can't knock out Moon and Urshifu in this position. Because we saw how much +2 Astral Barrage did. I can always get a Tailwind up. And I think I always just go for Surging Strikes here. Into Calyrex. They go for Astral, but it doesn't KO either of my Pokemon. Because I have very special defensive Ursh and I have a Resistant here. Yeah, as you can see, barely survives. But I knew my damage calc. You go for Ivy Cudgel, which is fine. Okay. Super ideal. We get the Tailwind up. I mean, this is still not easy, but it's manageable. We go out into Zacian. And then this turn, we're going to click Protect, and we're going to go for Behemoth Blade. Because they only have 2 turns of Tailwind, we have 3. So we go for the attack with Roaring Moon, and we go for Behemoth Blade. They're realistically probably clicking Follow Me, and Astral Barrage, which is fine. I just need to position this right. But we'll see. For Follow Me, yep. So we get the Behemoth Blade off into the Ogerpon, take the knockout. After, or the next turn. Actually, no, maybe I should. Was knockoff better there? I think knockoff might have been better. I think knockoff might have been better. Knockoff was better there, actually. Because if I KO the Ogerpon, like, Kyogre comes in. Yeah, that was a mistake, actually. Yeah, why did I do that? That was a huge mistake. Because they can Spike and Shield this turn. Well, here's the thing. They Ivy Cudgel, so maybe... Wait, they protected with Cali... Wait, what? Wait, what? They double protected... Huh? Why did they double protect? Wait, what? I'm confused because I think I threw because what I should... They stalled out their last tail. They miscounted for sure. But that was such a throw on my part. I should have went for a double up into Ogerpon. I know they're going to follow me. Then what I could have done, Roaring Moon goes down, Kyogre comes in. It's a 2v1 between Calyrex. I just got to hit Origin Pulse because +1 life for Astral Barrage doesn't KO Kyogre. It was just so easy. This position made it weird because Ogerpon could have Spike Shield and they could have Astraled. I have no idea why they made that play, but now they just guarantee lose. Because now I can just go for Protect with my Roaring Moon, and I can go for Behemoth Blade into the Calyrex. And even if they get double attacked and get the KO, like, it's still fine. Because then I get Tailwind and Kyogre in, and then I just win. Like, even if they get this play right, it still doesn't matter in the long term. Did they just get a double-double? I mean, sure. What is this match? They just forgot about the Tailwind turns. We go for Protect with our Zacian and Tailwind. Yeah, they forfeit. They realized that I have a guarantee win here. Yeah, that was just silly of them, but it was silly by me. I threw first, or I didn't throw. I did throw first. I did throw first. I could have went for a double protect, but was hoping that they would throw the other game by not by like they did make the Spike Shield play with Ogre Pump, but they attacked with Calyx. That game was questionable, but sometimes you just have those games, man. Sometimes you just have those games. It worked out though for us, but yeah, that was kind of an awkward one. That was an awkward one. I think I had a very safe line of going for a knockoff plus Behemoth Blade, KOing the Ogre Pond because it redirected the attack, and if they didn't, I get the KO on Shadow Rider. Kyogre comes in, I click Origin Pulse. I just gotta land the Origin Pulse. 85% chance to win the game against Shadow Rider, but then again, they could crit me because I live a +1, a Life Orb Astral Barrage. But yeah, that was the only thing. That was the only thing. All right, we have Calyx, Shadow Rider, Incineroar, Urshifu, Sinistcha, Screamtail, and Terapagos. Okay, definitely an interesting one here. I think I'm definitely bringing Ursh. Ursh is good. I bring Amoonguss. Amoonguss is decent. Spore is really good against this team. Pow is also pretty solid. I don't think this is a Zacian game. Zacian doesn't really accomplish too much. Like it can set up, but it's like, it's not really the best. I think Urshifu and Amoonguss just put on so much pressure, and I do kind of like it. And then Roaring Moon Kyogre back. The Pagos is going to be the tougher one to handle, but granted, I do have Taunt on this Urshifu. I have Spore pressure with the Amoonguss. I think we could just slowly chip the Pagos into range of the attacks. Chainpow's decent in this matchup, but like I don't want to power up their Urshifu, which is a problem. I like Amoonguss because of the Rage Powder and Spore pressure, the Roaring Moon for the Tailwind, so my Kyogre can outspeed. The only problem is I don't know if I outspeed. I think I outspeed Screamtail. Actually, I might not outspeed max speed Screamtail, but they would have to be max speed, and I don't think everyone runs max speed Screamtail. But we're gonna see Incineroar Terapagos as the lead, which is fine, versus Amoonguss plus Urshifu. And we're just going to Taunt Spore the Terapagos. I'd be very shocked if they protect him from the Urshifu. But yeah, I do like the idea of just going for Taunt and Spore here. They can fake out one, but not the other. If they have Sub, that's concerning. If they fake out the Urshifu and click Sub, but we'll see. Get a Taunt off into the Terapagos. And Calm Mind. It just blitz, but that's not KOing Amoonguss. Yeah. They take a bunch of damage, and I'm able to get a Spore off into the Terapagos. So this is pretty nice of a position. Also, Flare Blitz, yeah, not too worrisome. I think I just go for damage now. I think I just go for Surging Strikes. The question is, do I target Incineroar or do I break the Terra Shell on Terapagos? I think Moon is in a pretty good spot, so I think I'm just going to Surging Strikes the instant. I'm just going to go out into Moon. Because I get regenerated health on Amoonguss, I get to get my fast Tailwind Mon against the Calyx Shadow Rider, and I get to put on pressure with Tailwind Surging Strikes the next turn, which is super ideal. If they decide to switch on Incineroar, if it's Sinistcha, the Sash is broken. If it's Sash, which is fine by me. But let's see who they bring out. Gonna be Screamtail. I mean, I like damage on Screamtail, so that works too. That works too. Okay. The last mon should be Shadow Rider then. Problem is my Ursh is not fast, but I really don't think they get a disable off into my Ursh in time. To get that booster energy. Terrestrialization wise, it's only going to be Ursh. I don't have a reason to terrestrialize anything. 30 strikes. 1, 2. If I don't KO with the next one, I definitely should go for Terra Water, but like it looks like I do. Okay. So this is a pretty safe Tailwind because I know I'm faster than Screamtail with Roaring Moon at least. The Ursh, I have no clue. I really don't know. But I'm just going to Tailwind and Surging. Screen Tail. Look, it's 4 times effective against Moon. But it's a Screen Tail. Moon, can you live a player off? If it's Dazzle, I definitely live. So that's not too worrisome. And then I just Surging spam through their team if that's the case. They're going to Terra the Pagos? Okay. That means they can't Terra for Kyogre's Weather later, so that's fine. I guess they're just going for Starstorm in case I Terrasilize and go for the damage. We get the Tailwind with Moon. Is my Ursh faster? Probably not. I'm like slow Ursh. Oh, I am faster than Screen Tail. Okay, that's a really good mon to get rid of because I don't want to deal with Encore and Disable. So I get rid of the Screen Tail. Perfect. If the Pago stays asleep, the game is really, really hard for them. Okay. Yeah, they're asleep. They're asleep. Takes out the top, but not that big of a deal. Ursh, Instant should be coming in because they can't really go Calyrex here. Yep, they go Instant. They're guaranteed to wake up. I think I just go for... I realistically think I just go for Surging into Instant and I just go for Knockoff into the Pagos. They're gonna fake out my Ursh. No, they fake out my Moon. Okay, so they overcommitted. Like, they kind of had to in order to get back into the game. But yeah, now it's just locked here because I get rid of the Instant. Instant goes down. The Pagos can wake up. It can do what it wants. But it's kind of late in the game for it to really be slow and passive like this. Oh, and it's not even guaranteed to wake up. I thought it was, but it is not. Amoonguss doing Amoonguss things, but the Shadow Rider is in. But at this point, I just go for Surging Strikes Knockoff into the Shadow Rider. If Pagos wakes up, it's still not that big of a deal because it can Calm Mind, but like, yeah, it's not really doing much. I go for Surging, I go for Knock. Then next turn, I can go for Taunt plus Knock, or like, there's so much I could do at this point. Like, there's so much I can do at this point to win the game. Can Pagos reverse sweep me? Yes, but it's really unlikely. It's really unlikely. They need to Calm Mind up first. They need to protect Calyrex so the Calyrex hangs around. The only reason I'm not going for like Terra Water is like I don't think I need to. Because I'd rather have Ursh around. Knockoff. Okay, yeah, they don't even protect in front of the Ursh. So I just get the KO on Cali. And then I can just focus down this Pagos with like Knockoff plus Surging. And it's like really bad for them. So Calyrex goes down. Beautiful. They're guaranteed to wake up, but I mean, this is kind of thing about like passive teams like this is momentum really matters every single turn in these kinds of games. Like, yeah, you can Calm Mind, but like, it's just too late for that, right? So now I'm going to go for, it's the last turn of Tailwind on my side. I go for a Knockoff. The question is, am I going for, I guess I just go for Taunt into Terrapagos and I knock off. Because I know a crit won't knock out, or not crit. I know a +1 won't knock out Urshifu. I have a lot of special defense on this Urshifu. So I'm going to get rid of the leftovers. I'm going to make sure that they can't spam Calm Minds. So my Kyogre can actually do damage with my Water Spout. And then once Kyogre comes in, it's just free. Oh, it's Covert Cloak. Interesting. As we get the Talon off. This is Starstorm, but it's not... I hope it two-shots Moon. I actually hope it does two-shot Moon, because I would like to tail in the next turn. Okay, it does two-shot Moon. Perfect. Okay, yeah. Then we go for Detect. We go for a Tailwind. They're going to Starstorm again. Then I bring in my Kyogre. And then I click Water Spout plus Terra Water Surging Strikes. And I just blow up this Pagos, because it can't do much. And that's basically the game that we ended up aiming for. And even if we don't knock out the Pagos, even if like Surging... plus Spout doesn't KO, like I have a Amoonguss in the back. They have to saw out the Tailwind turns and hope the Pagos is faster. I just have Pollen Puff. Like, yeah, there's just no hope for them. Moon gonna go down. But now we have our beautiful Kyogre to clean up in this end game with Terra Water Surging Strikes and Rain plus the Water Spout, and this is going to obliterate this Terrapagos. Like, sure, Pagos could have woken up earlier, but even then it's like really tough for them, I think. We go for Terra Water Surging Strikes plus Water Spout. The Poggos is getting washed up. It is getting washed up. And I guess we'll see the ranges, but realistically, I mean, my Kyogre is gonna move first. I think it moves. Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember. Let's go for Water Spout Surging and just blow up the Poggos because it doesn't matter. Yeah, my Kyogre goes first. Water Spout. Yeah, like it does that much damage. I didn't even have to go for Terra Water Play. And yeah, like the thing is, with Calm Mind Poggos, you need quite a few turns to set up. And yeah, they lost a lot of momentum when I taunted into Spored. And then like I was able to focus down the other slot because the Poggos wasn't doing anything. And I think that's just how it really worked out in our favor. Especially getting the Moon in at the right timing meant it was just so awkward because I got the Tailwind advantage. Then I outspent the Scream Tail, was able to two-shot it. And yeah, the Poggos was just asleep. Miraidon, Groudon, Whimsicott, Volcarona, Iron Hand, Chien-Pao. Okay, Groudon versus Kyogre, a classic. We have a Zacian, which is kind of interesting here. What would I want to go in this? I think Volcarona is a little bit scary, so I got to be cautious of that. Roy Moon plus Zacian doesn't seem too bad. There is the Groudon I have to respect. What did they lead? Did they lead Whimsicott Miraidon? This is not an easy lead for my lead to handle. I gotta be cautious of that. I guess I could lead like Zacian Chien-Pao. Zacian Chien-Pao is okay. Yeah, because I can play aggressive with my Pao. Let's bring Kyogre and Roy Moon back. I'm a little bit scared of not having Ursh because I like the idea of having Surging Strikes pressure, but like they're never going to lead Groudon, and Groudon's just always going to be hesitant to come in when there's no Kyogre on the field, so I think this is probably acceptable. Late game Tailwind is ideal here. Miraidon Whimsicott does lead, that's what I expected, okay. I don't know, because I think they're going to Volt Switch into Volcarona, but I have no idea where it's going to go. I think they're going to Volt Switch into Volcarona. I don't know which slot they're going to target. But or do they not have Volk? Maybe they have like Iron Hands in the back. That's fine as well. I think I'm just going to double up the Whimsicott slot with Crash plus Behemoth Blade. I'll play aggressive because I think it will work out here. We're going to see the Terrassization come out immediately, which is a Miraidon into Electric. Oh, it's Overheat. Wait, they're weak to Kyogre Water Spout though. Okay, they Tailwind. They overheat my Zacian. Zacian goes down. That's fine. I think. You get a Crash off. It's Sash. That's acceptable. I go out into Kyogre, I think. Yeah, I go into Kyogre. And I click Water Spout and Sucker Punch. And they don't have a switch. Yeah. They go Groudon, that's fine. As long are you a Soul Vest Miraidon or are you Choice Specs? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It does swap out probably Groudon coming in. That makes the most sense to me. Yep. Okay. That works out in my favor. A light screen. Okay. I mean, I still get huge damage here, and I still think Water Spout's like cleaning up. I wish I Icicle Crashed instead, but I mean, this works out. I wasn't sure if it was Endeavor or not. Oh, I crit the Groudon. Nice light screen, buddy. Nice light screen, buddy. Okay. Depending on who they have in the back, though, I don't know if the crit's good or not. I mean, it's helpful for this turn, but I did have a line prepared for like a scenario like this with the Groudon in, and next to Miraidon, but now it's kind of weird. Iron Hands, okay. Iron Hands is tough, but we should be able to manage. They bring out the Miraidon again. This Iron Hands is really tough. We're going out into the Roaring Moon and we're going to click Protect. Curious on what the Miraidon's full moveset is, and I'm kind of curious on like how fast the hand... Well, hand should not be faster than Chi and Pow. Like, I'd be shocked if that was the case. They already Terra, so I don't have to worry about it. I do have Grass Terra on the Kyogre, but the Electric Terrain is powering up their attacks. They also have Light Screen, so Kyogre is doing a lot less damage. This is a bit concerning, but still manageable. Depends on what they decide to click here, though. I'm kind of curious. I think you should always pin the Kyogre slot with a double up, but they have to respect POW doing a decent amount. We retreat the Kyogre. We go out into our Roaring Moon. We get the sun up. Get the speed photosynthesis. Protect the POW. They double the power. Did they target the Kyogre? They Electro Drifted the POW, and I'm guessing Fighting Move to the... Yep. Okay. It's scary, but winnable. Scary, but winnable. We're gonna go into Kyogre. We go for Terra Grass Origin Pulse, and we go for Icicle Crash into hands. I wonder how fast this hands is. It shouldn't be mint speed on this team. We're gonna go for Origin Pulse, and we're gonna go for Crash. We might need a flinch actually, because the hands coming in to threaten low kick was scarier than actually the Groudon, now that I think about it. I could protect the Kyogre, but it's just mind games, right? At that point, of whether they double my Chi and Power or not. So I'm hoping that I just get the Origin Pulse off into the Crash. But Sword of Ruin with Electric Terrain is pretty strong. So we're gonna go for Terra Grass, because we'll resist Electric Drift. Maybe they Drain Punch my Pow instead, which would be ideal. Now they Electric Drift my Kyogre. Yep, that makes sense. That did so much. Oh, that's why. I was like, that did so much. Okay. You might need a flinch here. We Crash. Oh, we outspeed, but we missed a Miraidon. We need to flinch now. Oh. Wait, that's good. Wait, that's good. That's very good. Okay, we were looking in trouble, but they did actually Drain Punch the other slot. Tailwind Peter's out. The last turn of Electric Terrain, so our best place to double protect. We always double protect here, and then we go for Crash into Origin Pulse the next turn, and I think we win. Because Electric Drift won't be able to KO. I mean, it might come down to a speed tie between the Chi and Pow and the Miraidon. Oh, it's... Well... Oh no, because they crit the Draco my KO now. We might need a dodge. We might need a dodge where Kyogre needs to clutch up. Oh, the fact that I caught him on the misplay and it still ended up being bad. Let's see. I will Crash the hands and I will Origin Pulse. But that is very unfortunate. I missed a Crash too. Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of this team. If you don't hit your moves, it's bad. They Snarl too? I'm pretty sure Crash Origin Pulse gets to KO there. I'm pretty sure it does, man. We saw like Crash do 40 to the hands. I'm pretty sure this was doing enough. Oh, actually, it would have been close. I guess actually, because they Snarled, like even if I KO the hands with Crash, they KO my Miraidon, or they KO my Chi and Pow, and it's and they outspeed. Yeah, it's actually still kind of rough, actually. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I think I had to capitalize on the light screen turn. I just didn't know if they were Endeavor or not. I guess I should have just crashed the slot and I mean, here's the thing, I crit, so if I made that read, it's kind of same result. The problem was I was really banking on that Miraidon being like specs, but it was not. It was Assault Vest, so so it just ended up changing the amount of damage I was expecting. They actually had the ability to switch up moves, which unfortunately for me, it did not work out. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, it is a rough matchup using the Michael team from the North American International Championship, and it's just really tough because it's Terra Fire, Calyx Ice Rider. It's really hard for them to position well against Kyogre, especially once you see the lock-in for the Miraidon moveset. Since it's Choice Scarf, you're able to pivot around because of the Amoonguss redirection, the switch into Urshifu, they lock Snarl. It's really, really difficult for them, let me just say, and I was just able to pilot well, play aggressive, and dish out a ton of damage. In game 2, Torn Ogre, which is actually kind of an annoying matchup for this team, mainly because of the fact that the priority Tailwind makes it pretty difficult, especially when they have a Zacian to threaten the Roaring Moon. Granted, I was able to still play out of it, but I did need a little bit of luck. However, I was just able to put on a good amount of pressure against their Zacian, which was the huge part. In game 3, aggressive trades, but we went 1 out of 2 on the reads correctly, and that was enough to be able to seal up the victory. In game 4, the start with being Quiverdan's Volcarona wasn't great, but I was able to get in with my Zacian, and luckily with the Terra Fairy and the Rain, I wasn't taking much damage from the fire moves, and I was really able to dish out a good amount of damage and really just break through their team. In game 5, man, I am good with my head cows. That Urshifu living that Life of Bastard Barrage was on point. However, both me and my opponent trolled the end game, as my first troll was basically not doubling up that slot where I should have just KO'd the Ogre Pond that was always going to follow me there. And if I was able to do that, then I would have had the position I wanted with the Kyogre against the +1 Life Orb Calyx Shadow Rider, and they weren't able to KO me as long as they didn't crit me, and I was able to land the 1 Origin Pulse I needed. I would have been able to seal up the game. But yeah, I kind of messed up, and then I gave them an opportunity to get a double knockout, which was not great. However, they also trolled by going for double protect, stalling out their own Tailwind. I don't know if they miscalculated or anything, but then I was able to get my own Tailwind up, and then it was just over from there. In game 6, this was pretty strong. I was just able to prevent the Terrapagos from setting up using the Taunt and the Spores, and then put on great offensive pressure utilizing the Surging Strikes from Urshifu, getting the Roaring Moon, and just sweep under the Tailwind. In game 7, Terra Fire Overheat Miraidon just cooked my Zacian immediately, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, was there better options that I had? And it was pretty difficult. I would have probably had to Terra Fairy to Zacian immediately, which actually could have been a fair play because it was probably the Mon that could have Terra'd out of anything that I really brought. However, maybe there were some things that I could have done. The Icicle Crash Mist didn't help. The crit did help, but at the same time, it might have actually hurt me because they were able to get a free switch. I might have been able to double up the Groudon instead and probably been in a better spot. I probably shouldn't have worried as much about Endeavor because the Sucker Punch might have been obvious, so could have read the light screen. Yeah, it was still kind of a mind game there. There's just a lot that could have happened, but it was a pretty bad start. And I feel like if my opponent did just go for like low kicks into the Kyogre, yeah, it would have been cooked. It also didn't help with the crit on the Miraidon with the Electro Drift. But since it wasn't choice locked, yeah, I'm not sure my Kyogre could have done much in the end. So how was the team? Zacian and Kyogre, it is very different from how I played it back in 22, especially because I had no inaccurate moves other than, I guess, Thunder if you count that, but it's in rain, so it's 100% accurate. However, you didn't need player of Zacian back then. I was able to get away with Sacred Sword and Substitute. But yes, I mean, Zacian got nerfed quite a bit. Kyogre now has to pretty much run its inaccurate moves. It is a duo that has changed a lot, and that's the main reason why I haven't actually brought it to the World Championship this year when you're watching. So yeah, however, I think it's still a very fun duo. It definitely does have its upsides. It can still brute force opponents because of their great typing and synergy wise. Like, it's a fantastic duo. If you would like to check out the details of my recreation, they'll be linked in the description down below, and of course subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.